Good morning. Uncle Bob Fly Fishing Mythbusters. The biggest fly fishing myth I'm trying to prove to myself now that I'm retired and living in Texas, a long way from a trout stream, is that I can keep fishing, I can keep enjoying it, but I don't have to fish for trout. And my choice, because I live near a Texas lake and have a sailboat, in a slip, is, well, I'm going to fish for carp and buffalo. And I've got a little pond near my house where I do that with a fly rod. But out here, I'm using conventional gear. I have a bait runner on one rod, and then just a simple, spinning reel that's for catfish. A big cat from Home Depot. Close, huh? Bass Pro. And so it's a kind of a leaden, cold day. The wind's not really that bad. But because I have a cabin in my sailboat and I have my heater, my little space heater going over here. Now, before people react to that, I'll tell you, I remove power from the boat every time I leave it. I personally don't like the idea of live power in a place where you're floating and it can be raining and all the rest of that stuff. So every one of these appliances that I have, I just plug in as needed and unplug, and that includes, a microwave and an ice maker and a heater and lights and, a fish finder. So I just manage the amperage, right? And I got a 30 amp converter, so I can take the battery completely out of the boat, because batteries leak. They're a liability, in my opinion, not necessarily because of the voltage that they produce, but because of the mess they can produce and the fact that it's highly acidic and all that stuff. So I'm going to show you that I've got a plexiglass hatch cover, and I found a piece of plexiglass being thrown away at a thrift store. I asked them, can I have it? And they said, yeah. And so the thing I want to tell you is it's great. It's just, I can just push it out. It protects the interior of my boat from getting rain blown in. And it gives me a view of my rods. And I can position my rods in such a way that I can tell if I've got a fish on. On the left there, that bait runner, that spool is going to spin. The other rod, I got it positioned so if there's anything hard on that rod tip, I'll know it. So I want to talk just briefly about chumming. Now, the only bait and chum I use is boiled deer corn. $8 and you get 40 pounds, and I've got an Instapot here to boil it. But I have to make a decision about when I want to chum with deer corn again, when I want to make more deer corn, because I got to look at the weather report and decide, am I going to be out here for 2 or 3 days if it's been raining? It's constantly raining, and the answer is probably no. And the third thing is, I always lean on the side of, more isn't necessarily better. My vision of chumming and carp and buffalo coming around is that, I'm chumming with single pieces of corn, but I got 2 or 3 on my hair rigs. Is that just enough? And plus I run a double hair rig on each rig. Is that enough to find the fish when they come in and catch the right amount for the time I'm here? I would hate to have a double hookup on these 2 rods because these fish are big and strong. So my decision is to kind of chum as I go, as I come and go. If I get here, I'll chum. I don't really expect that chum to be particularly effective for at least an hour, maybe 2. And then I have a decision again, when to make corn and why, and should I chum as I leave? And I tend not to chum as I leave. Now, is that affecting my catch rate? I don't know. I will tell you that on a Facebook page for the lake, oh, I got a bite. That's probably a turtle. On the Facebook page for a lake for another marina on my lake, these guys are catching big carp. And to me, one of the ways to scratch that fishing itch is to fish for carp and buffalo in the comfort of the marina. Now, if I was on, the platform of a pontoon or sitting in a bass boat, it's not nice out. So I like this solution. That hatch cover looks like TV. I'd rather watch a catch on my rod than watch a catch in some football game. I'm just not that interested in that either anymore. So I hope this is meaningful for somebody. If it's not, my apologies. And good fishing to you, however you do it. Bye.